Ever wonder why some people always earn respect effortlessly? They're never interrupted. Their time is never wasted. So what makes them different? What do they have that you don't? I'm about to tell you something that might make you angry. The reason they get respect isn't because they're smarter, richer, or more successful than you. It's because they know one psychological trick that you've never been taught. A trick so simple, yet so powerful, that once you understand it, your entire life will change. Think about this. Someone cuts in front of you in line, and you say nothing. A friend cancels plans last minute, again, and you just smile. Someone takes credit for your idea, and you let it slide. Do you know what you're really doing? You're training people to walk all over you. Here's the part that will shock you. The people who never deal with this, they're not avoiding it by accident. They're using a dark secret about human psychology that Machiavelli discovered 500 years ago. A secret that separates people who command respect from those who beg for approval. What if I told you that being liked is actually making you weak? That every time you try to please everyone, you give away your power? That the harder you chase approval, the less people actually respect you? This isn't feel-good advice. This is raw psychology, and it works every single time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some people naturally command rooms while others fade into the background, why some people get listened to while others are ignored, and most importantly, how to become the person who never gets disrespected again. Are you ready to stop being everyone's backup plan and start being their first choice? Then drop this affirmation in the comments. Respect over approval. Number 1. The hidden weakness of being liked. Every single person who's walked all over you, dismissed you, or treated you like you don't matter has one thing in common. They knew you needed their approval more than they needed yours. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly respected a person desperate to be liked? Never. Desperation has a smell, and everyone senses it from a mile away. When you make being liked your priority, you become predictable. People know you'll smile, even when they insult you. They know you'll agree, even when they're wrong. They know you'll show up, even when they don't respect your time. And once you cert predictable, you cert disposable. The harder you try to be liked, the less people actually like you. It's backwards, I know. But think about the people you truly respect. Are they the ones constantly seeking your approval, or the ones who seem perfectly fine without it? The truth is, people are drawn to those who don't need them. It's psychology 101. We want what we can't have, and we dismiss what comes too easy. When you chase approval, you make yourself less valuable in everyone's eyes. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." He wasn't talking about being a tyrant. He was talking about the psychology of respect. Fear here doesn't mean terror. It means consequence. Look at the people who command real respect in your life. The toughest teacher, the strictest boss, the friend who always tells you the truth, even when it hurts. What do they all have in common? They don't need your approval to feel good about themselves. They have boundaries, and they enforce them. Meanwhile, the people pleasers get walked on, overlooked, and forgotten. Because when you make yourself available to everyone, you become special to no one. The people who benefit from your need to be liked don't actually respect you for it. Deep down, they see you as weak. They might smile to your face, but behind closed doors, they know you're the person who will bend over backwards for scraps of attention. This is the trap that keeps millions powerless. They think being nice and agreeable will earn them love and respect, but all it earns them is being taken for granted. Because respect isn't given, it's commanded, and you can't command anything when you're on your knees, begging for approval. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose power. Few experience what you really are. The moment you stop performing for approval, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. So what happens when you break free from the approval trap? First, people no longer know how to manipulate you. They can't push your buttons because you've disconnected the buttons from your actions. They can't guilt you, shame you, or pressure you because those tactics only work on people desperate for validation. Second, your decisions become crystal clear. Instead of asking, what will make them happy, you start asking, what's best for me? Instead of trying to please everyone, you focus on pleasing the one person whose opinion actually matters. Third, your relationships transform. Not all of them. Some people will hate that they can't control you anymore, and they'll disappear. Good. Let them go. Because the relationships that survive are the real ones, built on mutual respect, not your desperation for approval. This is the psychology shift that changes everything. From I hope they like me, to I don't care if they like me. From what do they think, to what do I think. From I need their approval, to they need to earn my respect. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my worth. Number 4. The addiction to approval. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Your need for approval isn't just a personality trait, it's an addiction. And like every addiction, it's being used against you by people who know exactly how it works. Here's the cycle. Someone gives you a compliment, likes your post, or tells you you're great. Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical released when people use drugs. You feel good, really good, but when that high fades, you need another hit. And here's where it gets sinister. People around you learn this pattern quickly. They realize that a tiny dose of approval can get you to do almost anything. Need you to work late? A little praise about your work ethic. Need to borrow money? A compliment about how generous you are. Need you to ignore their bad behavior? Some sweet talk about how understanding you are. They're literally using your brain chemistry against you. And the worst part, you're helping them by being so desperate for validation that you'll accept whatever scraps they throw your way. This is why approval addiction is so dangerous. It makes you easy to control. People know exactly which buttons to push to get what they want. They don't need to threaten you. They don't need to force you. All they have to do is toss you a little validation, and you'll bend over backwards. But here's the difference. People who don't need approval are impossible to manipulate. You can't control someone with compliments if they don't crave compliments. You can't trap someone with acceptance if they don't depend on acceptance. You can't weaponize their emotions if their emotions aren't chained to your opinion. The brutal truth about validation: it's cheap to give and expensive to receive. Anyone can say, "You're wonderful." It costs them nothing, but for you, it costs everything, because you start needing to hear it over and over just to feel okay. That's dependence, and that dependence keeps you weak. Machiavelli once said, "He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner effects his ruin than his preservation." When you obsess over what others think you should be, instead of what you are, you destroy your own power. Think about how this plays out. The approval addict changes their personality depending on who they're with. They hide parts of themselves. They say what they think others want to hear. They become a collection of masks, never a real person. Meanwhile, people who don't need approval stay consistent. They're the same in every room. They speak their truth, regardless of how others react. They don't hide, they don't bend, they don't fake. And here's the irony, that authenticity makes them more respected and more genuinely liked than any people pleaser ever will be. But breaking this addiction isn't easy. Your brain will fight back. It will whisper, if they disapprove, you'll be alone. It will make you feel guilty for standing your ground. It will push you back into chasing validation. That's where discipline comes in. You must choose consciously to stop seeking approval, even when every fiber of your being wants it. You must be willing to be disliked, misunderstood, and criticized. You must value your opinion above everyone else's combined. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My validation comes from within. Number 5. Machiavellian rules to command respect. Now let's get practical. The rules that will transform you from someone who gets walked on into someone who commands respect without saying a word. These aren't theories. They're tested principles, and they work every single time. Rule 1. Speak less. Act more. Most people talk too much and do too little. They explain themselves, over-justify, make excuses. That energy screams desperation. People who command respect do the opposite. They speak only when necessary. They let actions speak louder than explanations. They don't defend their choices to people who wouldn't make better ones. When someone disrespects you, don't lecture them about respect. Just walk away. When someone breaks a boundary, don't explain why boundaries matter. Just enforce it. When someone questions your decision, don't defend it. Just stand firm. Machiavelli once wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Be the fox when you need strategy. Be the lion when you need strength." Rule 2. Never chase approval. Simple to say, hard to do. No matter how badly you want someone to like you, never chase their approval. Don't text repeatedly if they don't respond. Don't over-explain when they're cold. Don't try to win them over. Chasing approval broadcasts desperation, and desperation repels respect. Instead, be indifferent. If they like you, great. If they don't, that's their loss. That indifference is magnetic. People respect the one who doesn't need them. Rule 3. Stay cold and calm under attack. Rule 3. Stay cold and calm under attack. When someone tries to provoke you, insult you, or push your buttons, your reaction determines everything. If you get emotional, defensive, or angry, they win. You've just shown them that they control your emotions, which means they control you. But if you stay calm, cold, unshaken, maybe even slightly amused, you flip the script. You reveal that their tactics don't touch you. You become psychologically bulletproof, and that terrifies people who rely on manipulation. Rule 4. Stay unpredictable. Predictable people are easy to control. When others know exactly how you'll react, they can manipulate those reactions to their advantage. So keep people guessing. Sometimes be generous, sometimes ruthless, sometimes social, sometimes distant. Sometimes put others first, sometimes put yourself first. This unpredictability keeps everyone off balance and forces them to respect your autonomy. Machiavelli once said, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." Don't be predictably nice. Don't be predictably cruel. Be strategically both. Rule 5. Enforce boundaries swiftly and silently. When someone crosses the line, the speed of your response matters more than the severity. A swift, proportional consequence teaches the lesson better than a delayed, harsh punishment. And silence? Silence speaks louder than explanations. Don't warn people over and over. Don't give second chances for the same behavior. Don't explain why they were wrong. Just act immediately and move on. That's how people learn your boundaries are real, not suggestions. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am unmovable. Rule 6. Scarcity and distance as power multipliers. Most people get this backwards. They think being constantly available makes them valuable. They think always saying yes makes them indispensable. They think giving unlimited access to their time makes them loved. Wrong. Scarcity creates value. Always has. Always will. When something is rare, people want it more. When something is common, they take it for granted. This applies to money, opportunities, objects, and most importantly, you. If you're always available, you become background noise. If you always say yes, people stop valuing your cooperation. If you always forgive, people stop caring when they hurt you. But when your time is scarce, when your attention is selective, when your forgiveness is conditional, suddenly people treat you like the rare, valuable resource you are. Think about the most powerful person in any room. Are they the one who shows up to everything, agrees with everyone, and never says no? Never. They're the ones who show up when they want, leave when they choose, and say no without explanation. That selectiveness makes their presence magnetic. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few truly know what you are." The less people see of you, the more they wonder, and curiosity is power. So, instead of replying instantly, reply when it's convenient. Instead of saying yes to every invitation, choose carefully. Instead of helping everyone, help those who deserve it. This isn't selfishness, it's strategy. Your energy is limited, so treat it like treasure. And here's the beauty of scarcity. It's self-reinforcing. The less available you are, the more people want your attention. The more they want it, the better they treat you. The better they treat you, the more selective you can afford to be. Yes, some people will disappear when you stop being endlessly available. Good. They weren't real relationships anyway. The people who remain, the ones who respect your distance, are the ones worth keeping. Distance also brings clarity. When you stop managing everyone else's emotions, you can finally focus on your own goals. That's why the most powerful people often appear slightly detached. It's not that they don't care, it's that they don't care too much. The transformation. So what happens when you truly implement these principles? When you stop chasing approval and start commanding respect, everything changes. First, your relationships improve, not all of them. Some people will hate the new you because they can't manipulate you anymore, but the ones that survive will be deeper, stronger, more genuine. Second, your confidence skyrockets. Not fake confidence based on validation, real confidence rooted in the knowledge that your worth isn't up for debate. Third, opportunities start finding you, or people begin seeking your perspective, because you won't just tell them what they want to hear. They'll offer you better positions, because they know you don't accept scraps. Fourth, your stress levels collapse. Life becomes simple when you stop managing everyone else's opinions. But the biggest change, you become free. Free from the endless cycle of begging for approval. Free from guilt, masks, and compromises. free to be yourself, without apology. Machiavelli once said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." Your worth doesn't come from what others think. It comes from how you choose to show up in the world. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. You'll second guess yourself. You'll wonder if you're being too harsh, but stick with it, because on the other side of that discomfort is the strongest version of you. The one who commands respect without demanding it. The one who attracts genuine relationships without chasing them. The one who has power without abusing it. Most people spend their lives begging to be liked. Very few rise to the level of commanding respect. Which one will you be? If you stayed with me this far, you're already different. Most people can't handle truths this raw, but you can. Now it's time to decide. Will you keep giving your power away, or will you finally claim the respect that's been yours all along? Drop this final affirmation in the comments. Respect is my birthright. And remember, in a world full of people desperate to be liked, the person who doesn't need approval holds all the cards. Be that person, command the respect you deserve, and watch how your life transforms when you finally stop giving your power away.